So without further ado, I want to introduce Sensei John Mirrione.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's great to be here. And I went on this journey starting in 2010, and I think you should know a little more of the history. Being staff members, like why would a person volunteer like myself and travel the country out of my own pocket to see what was going on in the schools? In fact, when I went to my reunion, everyone asked me, one guy said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm doing fine." I said, "You don't look like you're doing so good." But the reality is that I was one of those rare people that took the adversity and the evil that happened to me, and I decided to go save the world. That's just not what kids do. When children are traumatized, they carry these traumas all the way into adulthood, right? And it's a very simple stepping stone. They suspended, expelled, jail time. And I've dealt with people in my lifetime because then I hear the story. And the story always goes back to bullying. Oh, it's all the same thing. And then what does bullying lead to? What are you watching the news now? First it was years of bullying, now it's mass shootings. Every week there's a mass shooting. Now, you can't say, well, the media's just trying to make money. No, they're not. It's not just about the money. Granted, they could show a lot more positive stories, and I know a lot of those major players, and they don't. They're responsible for the psychology of people. But the bad stuff they're showing is very real, and it's very serious. And then you hear, well, it's the parents' fault. You know, parents aren't doing their job. Well, I mean, I don't know what they're saying, because kids are lucky to have one parent. They're lucky if they have these parents working. I don't know. I mean, the kid's in a rich community. Well, then he's neglected or he's ignored and the parents are not even around, they're traveling. It's a whole other type of situation that happens. It's very extreme. It brings me back to the schools, and I'll tell you how this happened. I was in a political debate. I did the show with Deepak, and I was in a lot of media. I was like, they were throwing me on CNN. I was just like, what is this? Like, what now? And to me, it was more like, put you in the spotlight because, you know, they need somebody to talk and advocate. But at the end of the day, they push you off the show and they go on to the next show. Nobody cares. That's what I was feeling. There are some players out there that do care. And I was in there with a very powerful assemblywoman, and we were having a debate. She's like, "I'm going to enforce the gun control law." And I looked at her and I said, because the kids in Patterson were shooting each other, that's how this came up. And I'm like, they don't care. What do you spend more money, more resources? These kids, they don't care. You know why they don't care? They don't have love. They don't have feeling. They don't even know what love feels like. And she looked at me, she's like, "Well, what do you intend to do?" I said, "Well, the opposite of what the system's been doing. And it needs to happen now." This was several years ago when you heard Patterson, little shootings in Patterson. She said, "You know, I'm gonna have you meet with the assemblywoman in Patterson." And we met within 5 minutes. The woman sat down with a piece of paper and she starts writing a bill, the existing bill, the anti-bully legislation bill now. But the bill has changed 3 times because she's still fighting for certain things regarding that bill. But the reality is that she took it seriously. She saw the importance of having a proactive approach, not a reactive approach, right? Now further, let me backtrack with this idea. I gave the Harmony Power Award to this famous Holocaust survivor. His name is Sammy Steigman. And I was like, you know, I don't know what your beliefs are, but I'm a spiritual person. And I'm not going to go into the details of what my belief system is, but I'm like, I'm in the room with this man for a reason. Because this is a powerful guy, he's world renowned. I'm like, God, what is the reason today? And let me tell you, it was so black and white to me, because what he had said to me, he said, you know, 6 million of us were killed. This guy was tortured by the Nazis when he was a baby, and he lived to tell the story. And he spends his life giving back to humanity. That's why he got the Harmony Power Award. At that time, education was mind-centered. There's no heart-centered education. They didn't give a shit. Kids knew about love. They didn't know about love. Maybe they got love at home. Maybe they learned it through their religion. Maybe not. It was like, if it's in it, it's in it. Maybe they have a good teacher, a good principal. They were lucky. It was like the light bulb. I'm like, why isn't heart-centered education first then academic education, because if the child doesn't have any self-love, why would they have any desire to learn? How about this? What if the teacher doesn't have self-love? Maybe when they grew up, they were bullied by their parents and their peers, and they're screaming at the kids, and they can't even figure out how to get it right. That goes on all the time. I have gone into schools, and I've seen some amazing schools. I mean, they're rare, like amazing, like they try to do all the right things. But the majority, it's kind of like a lethargic. It's like just people just moving along, like it's like just another day, and there's no like fire, no passion, and only if the child is lucky enough to have that amazing teacher, and in this case, if they have that amazing therapist or counselor or social worker that cares, then their life actually matters. And then I said, okay, so now we have this Harmony Power Awards program, and I was giving out hundreds of them, hundreds. And it was basically if schools wanted to do it, but I'm like, why would they opt to not do it? Like, I'm not charging the school anything. I'm going in and volunteering my time. We're finding out things that these children do that they love to do within the existing curriculum. It's not taking up any time. It's not costing the school money. What the hell's wrong with people? You know why? Because if they don't have to do it, they don't want to do it. They don't give a shit if it's something that is extra, even if it's good. That's when I'm like, all right, we got to mandate this. Because now everyone's got to do it. We're all responsible. And if you don't like what you see on TV, you don't like the bullying, you like the mass shootings, say to yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing about it? Because let me tell you something. I got bullied a lot. And I couldn't stand to watch TV and to see what happens to these kids and do nothing about it. And I live a good life. I live a good life. You live a good life. You get your paycheck, you get your medical coverage, make those kids' life amazing. You have a big responsibility to make a difference. And there's no reason why these teachers can't take that extra step, because it'll make their job easier. It'll make that kid's life easier. That kid's life will have meaning. That's more important than the academics. And I'll tell you right now, it's so serious right now, if we don't take it seriously, humanity will not exist. It won't. We'll kill each other. That's the truth of it. That's the reality. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm just putting in the words that you needed to hear today. That's why I'm here. And I will continue to do this. And I will continue to travel. And I will continue to do this till every school in this world thinks about it, takes it seriously. Because that's the only way that things can change. And the schools that did do it, I went into a school, one school in Elizabeth, I forgot the number of the school. I'm crying now because of I still live with, the trauma doesn't go away, okay? I think that when I teach my martial arts, I have to go back into the trauma so I can give people something that's real. But I live with it, and I'm happy, and it's my power now. But I got to see what a school did. I mean, the walls were filled with like artwork, and the art classes, and the music class, and the English class, and everyone was doing something. And these kids were doing amazing stuff. And they were expressing their pain, and like, oh, finally someone's listening to me. I'm actually valued. What I want to do is actually matters. Not what the state says I need to do, but what I want to do. That's what matters. That's exactly what these kids were doing. And I was like, my eyes were watering. I was trying to hold back the tears, and I'm like, okay, these are tears of joy. I'm like, let me just chill out, because I'm here to look at what these kids are doing. And it blew me away. It just showed what was possible. Cost the school nothing, it's everything to kids. It's everything to kids. Imagine putting your efforts into this and putting less efforts into writing another report, another problem, another issue of abuse. All that negative energy, and then you're fighting for your own job. You're like, okay, I gotta write it this way because I wanna come to work tomorrow. I don't wanna deal with this bullshit, because you're worried about your own job. And you're worried about your job just as much as you're worrying about that child. Imagine if you put your energy in, okay, let me see what I can get this kid to do that they love to do within their classroom, and let me focus on them getting that Harmony Power Award. And let me also, all of you get the awards too. The school honors every person that gets actively involved in those awards, because we're all kids at the end of the day. The one thing that I refuse to do is grow up. We're all children. We're all scared. We're all fragile. Get on that page with the kids. You'll connect with them better. The teachers get the awards. The teachers that get involved with the kids get the awards. It goes in the teachers' evaluations. It goes in your evaluations. It goes in the student's report card as a permanent record. Not that they were just a smart child. They were a child that gave back to the community. When these kids learn how to give, really learn how to give as a habit, like this school wants to do this throughout the year, love throughout the year. When they learn how to do that, they believe in themselves. When they believe in themselves, they love themselves. And then you have a world like you never knew before, because it's a world that wasn't paying attention. And I'm going to make sure the world can see it, because that's what I'm here for. I'm only the first domino. I'm like the grain of sand. But you're the ones that can make all the changes. And you can do it now, today. Come up with a game plan and get it done. Because very little of your time is everything to the kids. Thank you.